Welcome everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you to this very first symposium of EASCOPICS. We wanted to give you a few words about EASCOPICS and its first product, the hepatoscope. And to communicate on EASCOPICS, I think the vision that we want to carry is the vision of democratization of ultrasound. And what we've done, thanks to software, we've been able actually to softwareize premium medical devices such as the systems that you have on the left and transform them into pure software. And our vision is that in a few years from now, clinicians will have access to ultrasound through apps that they will download using these apps to target their own clinical problems. What we've done with hepatoscope as a first application, as a first app, is an app that is able to quantify tissue parameters in the liver with a specific focus on steatosis and fibrosis. So the hepatoscope, which you will be able to see at our booth on the Biotech Village, is actually a point-of-care ultrasound system that is capable, of course, of imaging the liver, but also position within the liver regions of interest where we can perform measurements. And these measurements are transient elastography, which is, we know, correlated to fibrosis, and then we are benefiting from all the literature that FibroScan has been able to publish on that, but also steatosis-type biomarkers, measurements of attenuation, but also measurements of things that are very specific to ultrasound imaging in the liver. And everybody knows that ultrasound qualitatively is able to assess liver fat, looking at the brightness of the liver. So we've developed imaging quantification tools to quantify this brightness. So the way it works is actually providing an ultrasound image where you locate a region of interest, and then when you apply this probe between the ribs, the probe is vibrating, sending a 50 hertz vibration, which is called mechanical transient elastography, and this mechanical vibration propagates in the liver. But the beauty of an imaging system instead of a single element is that you are able to map this propagation in 2D. And what you see if you are able to map this propagation in 2D is that at every point on the propagation map, you're able to measure the stiffness. So that's the first difference with the well-known FibroScan. The other thing is that, of course, you know that you are in the liver, which unfortunately is not the case when you have a single element. Of course, this is a FDA-cleared device, and the FDA has broadly validated the measurements that this device is capable of doing, and it's no surprise that the measurements are correlating exactly with what FibroScan is doing, both for the M and XL probe, whereas hepatoscope has only one transducer, one imaging transducer. So it's really a product and an app that derives from transient elastography, and we'll have Dr. Stefan Katlin tell us about the history of transient elastography and elastography in general. But it's a point-of-care device, a device that is mobile and that will be able to address the need potentially in screening. On the steatosis side, I would say, we are also benefiting from what ultrasound imaging is good at, namely estimating fat in the liver. And here we have implemented 4 imaging biomarkers, imaging quantification tools, the famous hepatorenal index, which compares the brightness of the liver with the brightness of the kidney, which is supposed to be free from fat. So any ratio that you would measure would give you an assessment of the fat content in the liver, but also ultrasound attenuation, which is the equivalent of CAP on the FibroScan, speed of sound, which you can find on premium ultrasound units, and backscattering coefficient. So is it a FibroScan? Is it an ultrasound system? Well, I guess it's a mobile ultrasound system, but with transient elastography in it, as opposed to shear wave elastography that you find on premium ultrasound imaging devices, and however, premium ultrasound tissue quantification tools. It's, if you wish, combines the benefit of FibroScan with the benefit of premium ultrasound, and the whole thing with an accessibility and a portability component to it, which will be able to help you do your exam at the point of care. Nobody today asks himself or herself what is an iPhone, and it's indeed the combination of several components. And I think the key here is that softwareization of digital technologies have enabled this unique combination of features on a product, and this is actually what we have tried to do with Hepatoscope. So an all-in-one mobile to bedside ultrasound imaging system with the latest ultrasound tools for liver and ITs. So I will stop here and share a session that we've put together, and we are very lucky to welcome Professor Victor Deledinghen, who is going to tell us about his experience and how robust and reliable this product can be. Dr. Stéphane Katlin, who is going to guide us through the 20-plus years of elastography science that are behind all these innovations that have been put on products, FibroScan, Explorer, and today Hepatoscope. Then Baptiste from Iscopix, who is going to explain to you how we can extract some of this information on liver fat, and then Professor Cyrielle Cossy with, again, some data from her own experience on this. Thank you, and I'm going to move it to Professor Deledinghen.